we're doing a documentary on Osceola and Renegade, and just kind of like the relationship between the school, the Seminole tribe, and then just kind of like the relationship that we have with that school. So, first question for you is, when you've gone to games as a fan, and you see, say the first time you saw Osceola and Renegade on the football field in person, what were your thoughts?
I thought it was a great tradition, and I thought it was something that not a lot of other schools have. You go to a lot of other colleges, a lot of universities around the country, and they have a person in a big costume. With this school, you have something that everyone can relate to. This is something that the entire school shares. It's a moment that they all share in at the beginning of a game. A lot of schools don't have that. They'll have, hype videos. They'll have a lot of other things that bring the crowd together and bring the school together. But no matter what major you are, no matter what you've been doing that entire week, you may not know the 80,000 people that are around you, but that's a moment that you can all share in, and not a lot of other schools have that. And that was one of the first things I noticed about that. It's unity. It's something that other schools don't really have.
When you see Renegade galloping across the field, Osceola's on his back, flaming spear, and it's moments away from being planted, what goes through your body? What goes through your mind as you're watching that?
A lot of emotions, but it doesn't get any better than that. It doesn't get cooler than that as a fan, but as someone that is in the media as well, refraining from cheering with that is very difficult. And it's something that, like I said, you don't get to experience at a lot of other places. Before a game, the energy level is always exciting, but that is the moment where it all comes together. And that is the moment where no matter who you're playing, it could be Miami, it could be Florida, it could be Wake Forest. You know that is one of the biggest moments of this in the school the entire year, and it's one of the biggest moments that you'll endure as a student at Florida State.
When you think of Osceola and Renegade, what do you think they represent?
I think that they do their best to represent the Seminole tribe of Florida. They may not have the most accurate representation of that, but the intention is there. The spirit is there. With a lot of other schools, with a lot of other mascot representations, they don't necessarily even try to be accurate. They'll overgeneralize, calling something the Indians or calling something another name. But with this, it's more of a respect to the Seminole tribe of Florida, and it's something that you can appreciate when Florida State works with the Seminole tribe of Florida to ensure that it is a somewhat accurate representation of their culture, of their tribe, and it speaks to what Florida State is trying to accomplish in that sense as well.
When you think of the tribe of the Seminoles, what do you think they embody? What does the Seminole tribe embody?
Exactly what the mascot of Florida State represents as well. Is they're unconquered. It's an unconquered spirit, and that is mind, body, and soul. And that is being a free spirit and being able to accomplish and conquer anything in life. And that's something that, again, Florida State works to represent. They don't just throw it out there. They don't just put it in front of their fan base as if to say, this is just what we represent, accept it, understand. No, it's an actual attempt to represent the Seminole tribe of Florida in an accurate way. And I think with that warrior mentality that they put forth, it helps the players and it gets everyone hyped on game day.
And my last question for you is, for you personally, what does it mean to be a Seminole? What does it mean when you think, when Florida State, we're Gators? Or what does it mean to you to be a Florida State Seminole?
You've got a family for life. You've got a place that you can always come back to and a moment that you can always embrace at Doak Campbell Stadium, no matter what you go on to pursue in your life. You always have something that you can come back to, and you always have a moment that you can share with your quote-unquote family. I'm from New York. Coming down here, I knew no one here. But that moment when I was at my first football game, my first home football game was 2014 against the Clemson Tigers. That was the first one. And Jameis Winston didn't start in that game. That was Sean McGuire. That moment when Osceola and Renegade with the flaming spear ran to midfield and planted it, a moment that I had heard about for a long time but never really witnessed, that was when I knew that I found a home. And that was when I knew that I would have a home and have a place to come back to and embrace, and that would embrace me, and something that someone alongside me that I may not know someone across the stadium that I may not know, I have that unity with them, and I'll always have that.